Michael Porter's National Diamond Framework resulted from a study of patterns of comparative advantage among industrialized nations and can be applied to emerging markets. It works to integrate much of Porter's previous work in his competitive five forces theory, his value chain framework as well as his theory of competitive advantage, into a consolidated framework that looks at the sources of competitive advantage sourceable from the national context. Let me explain Porter's diamond model, commencing with strategy, structure and rivalry. Strategy, structure and rivalry refers to a nation's performance in particular sectors and inevitably relates to the strategies and the structure of firms in each sector. Competition plays a big role in driving innovation and the subsequent upgrading of competitive advantage. Since domestic competition is more direct and impacts earlier than steps taken by foreign competitors, the stimulus provided by them is higher in terms of innovation and efficiency. For example, the Japanese automobile industry has 8 major competitors: Honda, Toyota, Suzuki, Isuzu, Nissan, Mazda, Mitsubishi, and Subaru, provide intense competition in the domestic market, as well as the foreign markets in which they compete. Factor conditions in certain countries refer to the natural, capital and human resources available. Some countries are, for example, very rich in natural resources. For example, Australia is well endowed with iron ore. This explains why Australia is one of the largest exporters of iron ore worldwide. With human resources, we mean created factor conditions such as a skilled labor force, good infrastructure and a scientific knowledge base. Porter argues that especially these created factor conditions are important opposed to natural factor conditions that are already present. It is important that these created factor conditions are continuously upgraded through the development of skills and the creation of new knowledge. Competitive advantage results from the presence of world-class institutions that first create specialized factors and then continually work to upgrade them. Nations will then succeed in industries where they are particularly good at factor creation. Demand conditions relate to the domestic market and provide the primary driver of growth, innovation and quality improvement. The premise is that a strong domestic market stimulates the firm from being a startup to a slightly expanded and bigger organization. For example, Alibaba capitalized on the very large Chinese domestic market initially to develop demand and scale. This gave them the base to expand internationally. Lastly, for many firms, the presence of related and supporting industries is of critical importance to the growth of particular industries. A critical concept here is that national competitive strengths tend to be associated with clusters of industries. For example, Silicon Valley in the USA and Silicon Glen in the UK are techno-clusters of high-technology industries which includes individual computer, software and semiconductor firms. The role of chance basically denotes the idea that it may occur that many times a product or an enterprise may get an opportunity to maximize its benefits out of sheer luck. Thus chance, if received, plays a key role in determining the fate of the product as well. The role of government acts as a facilitator, to encourage or even push companies to raise their aspirations and move to higher levels of competitive performance. The diamond model in summary could therefore be used when analyzing foreign markets for potential entry or when making foreign direct investment decisions.